Hi, Alissa.
Hey, Katy.
Welcome to episode 349, How to Price a Listing.
What a great title.
Can you believe we have never how-to'd the actual pricing?
I think we've been nervous too.
Maybe, and we did very how-to the CMA, the market report.
Yes.
Which is essentially the same.
Mm-hmm. I think today you have some really good practical steps and tips.
Yeah.
Some of it pulled from Agent Systems where you do a real deep dive into this.
Yeah.
And then I have been going on several listing appointments lately and find myself saying certain things.
You've got like some go-to lines?
Yes.
Okay.
That just come out naturally. It's not like I went in there preparing with a script.
Okay.
But I find I'm having to do some education while, because they just want to know the number.
Give me the number.
What's the number?
Just the number. Isn't there a magical number?
Right.
I'm asking you, isn't there a magical number? No. Okay, let's find out why.
There's not.
Okay, let's start with this. We're going to take it as if you've just received a call from a seller who's like, I would like to meet you and talk about selling. What do you do? What is your process? Like, as far as, keep it in the realm of pricing, obviously.
Yes.
Like, what's your prep before you get, or while you're talking to the seller?
I do ask some basic questions over the phone.
Okay.
If they've done it, I have been asking lately the age of their roof.
Okay.
And just trying to get a feel for what I'm about to walk into. Depending on where their house is located, I may ask more or less questions.
Okay.
If they catch me on the computer, sometimes I like to pull it up while I'm talking to them.
100%.
And make some more notes. But either way, I am just doing some preliminary market research.
Yeah.
I know you like to go in already kind of knowing an exact number. I bring general data, and I like to remind them, I haven't been in your house.
Sure.
And this was also sort of born from being blindsided before, like being totally off.
Right.
I have had situations where what I thought going in was not the case at all.
Yeah.
And I have been burned a few times. So I have always started off by saying, when we're finally at the house together, they want to know the number. I'm like, listen, this was my first time seeing your house. I did research beforehand, but I was not sure what I would be comparing you to.
Right.
These are some general market numbers that I have come up with that I would like to talk through with you. I would like to talk through with you what some of these houses looked like, how long they were sitting on the market.
Yeah.
And my pricing conversation is very much a collaborative discussion.
Do you bring your computer inside and show them listings while you're doing this?
Sometimes.
If you don't bring the computer in, how are y'all having this conversation? Do you have a CMA with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have printed stuff that I brought with me.
Okay. Great.
I have something.
Perfect.
Sometimes, if it's in a very cookie cutter neighborhood, I don't always need my computer.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, your floor plan sold 4 times for $275.
Right.
So here we are.
Yeah.
If it's one of those neighborhoods where everything is so different, I'm like, let's look at this together. And sometimes they're like, oh, that house was this, or that house was that. And they're so different. And we just sort of take 20 minutes and look through some photos, look at their day on market.
Yeah.
Also, I have been focusing a lot the last 3 years on seller concessions, making sure they understand, your neighbor got that price, but they paid $10,000 towards closing costs.
Sure.
So it is a bit of a discussion.
Okay, great. Hey y'all, it's Katy. Tell the truth. How many courses are sitting in your inbox right now that you swore you'd finish? Well, here's your chance to actually do it. Agent Systems 101 is back on Monday, along with all the spring deals for a 1-day re-release. And I'm teaching Agent Systems live between April 13th and the 21st. You show up, I teach, you build the systems with me. It's half off, and Monday is your only window to buy. This is the last live teaching of Agent Systems for 2026. Grab it at hustlehumblypodcast.com/deals, that's DEALS, and come build with me. whenever I get the call, I'm not on the road, I feel like, as much as you are. So I don't take these calls away from my computer.
Right.
Or if I've got one or someone texts me, I'll be like, hey, I'll call you at a time when I know I'm going to be at my computer. Okay? Because I like to pull up the MLS. If this house has ever been listed, then I have some frame of reference, right? Like, you know, at least what the square footage is, the age maybe, like what the updates were. And then I'll be like, is this when you bought it? And then you're like, oh, yes. Have you made changes? Oh, no. Okay, great. Now I have photos, right? Like, I mean, obviously the condition will have changed, but I have some point of reference, right?
Yes.
So it's really important to have that. Now, I've lived in my house for 45 years and we built it from scratch. That's not in the MLS, right? Like I can't look it up. So then you have to ask more questions. What is your square footage? Tell me about your kitchen. Tell me, like, what have you done to it? Is it the same as it was 45 years ago? Or did you make a big renovation in 2000? That's still a 20-year-old renovation.
We completely renovated it 25 years ago.
I'm like, oh dear.
Oh, good.
Now it's a 25-year-old house. Still outdated. So I try to get as much as I can. But look, you, just like you said, you typically know based on when you're looking at where the house is, the age, what they tell you, the last time it was listed. You've got a pretty good idea of if it's you have no idea what's coming or if you kind of have an idea of what's coming when you get there, right? It doesn't mean you can't show up and be surprised. Obviously, I've been into a house where I thought it was going to be one way and it went very differently. Or I've gone in with kind of a real vague idea of price, but typically I have some range of price and I never give a seller a price before I get there with a smaller range than $25,000 to $50,000.
Oh, yeah.
Like if they're putting like, well, about what? I'll be like, I don't know, $300 to $350. But it'll be very dependent on once I get there. So I never give a price before I get there. And then I might have prepared thinking, well, best case scenario, it's $350. And then I get there and I'm like, this is a middle case scenario. Like it's going to be $325. Like I can change the number when I'm there. Okay, so I look up the MLS. I look up the tax information so that I can actually prepare a net sheet, whether I'm doing it in front of them or before I go. And then I bring a net sheet with me.
Because it has their mortgage information on there?
No, I want to know the actual taxes were so I can do the proration of tax. I know some people just don't do this.
Yeah, I don't do this.
I literally do a seller net as if they were going to closing.
Down to the taxes.
Yep.
And you just make them plug in their mortgage.
Yeah, that's it.
Payoff.
Yeah. I just like it. It's also gamified for me. I want to see how close I get.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've been doing this a long time. I can figure out too. I've done it within $10 before. From the listing
you just
appointment.
Pick a estimated close date.
Well, I'll tell you how I do that. Whenever I do the CMA, I look at the neighborhood and I'm like, or I know the market, what's happening. And I'm like, okay, well, it looks like things are selling in 60 days or on the market at average of 60 days. And you want to list in 60 days on this date. I just do the math.
Yeah.
It does not mean that that's necessarily the case. That's probably the one where I'm like, I'm guessing as best I can. I'm assuming you get your house ready and on the market in, 30 days like you told me. I'm assuming that the days on the market is still running 60, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
But I don't just say always 3 months of taxes or always 6 months. I pick based on when they tell me they're going to list.
Yeah.
Most often, if they say, I want to list definitely for sure at the end of March, then I would just, unless it was a really bad market, I probably guesstimate 45 days from list to closing.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So then I'm pretty close on the taxes.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to get overly focused on the taxes to price a house. You don't need to know them at all, honestly. I'm just doing it as part of my process.
I had a seller recently email me.
Okay.
Say, I got your name from so-and-so. We are going to be interviewing agents. Before we schedule an interview, I would love for you to just email me back how you do your pricing and strategy of the market data.
Okay.
So
what did you email back?
I'm going to read it to you. I said, to answer some of your questions, I base all of my pricing and strategy on actual market data, not my personal opinions or feelings. With that being said, I want to share an updated market analysis with you. I felt comfortable sending them a little snapshot.
Okay.
Because their neighborhood was
easy, straightforward.
Easy.
Okay.
And he had said he was keeping a close eye on this house that had sold. and it was very similar to theirs.
Okay.
So I looked at it and I said, I noticed you said you were keeping a close eye on this house and that it closed for $240,000. I wanted to make sure that you also knew that they did pay $9,000 towards buyer's closing costs. I'm not sure if that's something you were aware of. And then I just went into why that might be. In the market we're currently in, buyers are seeking to keep cash on hand, and I have rarely received a purchase agreement where the buyer is not asking for some sort of concessions, either a rate buy down. We went over average days on market. So, but I just thought it was interesting because he's like, well, how do you price it? And I'm like, there's really only one way, and that's to look at the data.
Yes, and I think that's a perfectly good response. When I talk to my sellers, I tell them I have a pricing philosophy, me as an agent.
Okay. What is it?
I want to push it as I don't want to ever overprice, but I am a more aggressive pricer and I want to price as high as I can. I don't want to leave money on the table.
Mm-hmm.
So I will tell you what you need to do in order to price as high as we can for your house. Maybe you're making a change that will get you to the highest price that you can. But also I tell them that we're going to pick a price that way where we're getting the most we can, and we're going to get ready and prepped and staged and clean and as market ready as possible so that it's price plus your condition and your house will sell quickly. This is all part of my seller philosophy. So when I talk to sellers, I'm like, I don't want you doing showings for 90 days. Mm-hmm. I don't want you packing up your kids and your dog and cleaning the dishes and making all the beds 60 times.
Yeah.
I want you to do it right for 2 weeks or less.
Yeah.
Hopefully, right? So I do think there are probably agents that price more conservatively and more aggressively. There's not a right or wrong, and there's not a magic number.
Right.
But I will tell sellers that, and I think it is helpful for them to understand, I'm not giving you a number based on what I think is going to sell in one day fast with multiple offers, and I can get out of this quickly. I'm telling you, we're going to try our best to push it as much as we can.
Yeah. I've even said in certain situations, so I do think agents get stuck sometimes on price per square foot.
Oh, yeah.
They just want to use that calculation, and it is a guide.
Yeah.
And there are neighborhoods where price per square foot is strong.
Yeah.
And there are some neighborhoods you cannot go off of price per square foot at all because the lot sizes are totally different. The ages of the homes are totally different. So don't get stuck in thinking price per square foot is always the answer.
And I do like what you do, and I do the same thing. Look at that CMA for that neighborhood or what you've pulled as the appropriate comps for that property, and you look at the median price per square foot, and then you look at the average price per square foot. Let's say you pulled 8 houses. The median is the most commonly occurring, right?
Yes.
The average, it takes into include those outliers.
Yeah.
So maybe there's a low one and there's a high one, but they're all averaged in.
Mm-hmm.
If those two numbers are super close, that's probably pretty accurate, right?
Right. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, what next?
What do you mean?
Well, we've got our items prepared. How about this? Tell me, because we have a whole CMA episode.
Yes.
So a CMA is the comparative market analysis. These are, your good old real estate terms. That is episode 97, where we walk you through exactly how we do this. And I do think we do some sample ones, and it's very fun to see
it is fun.
Because they're not that far off, right? I mean, we have
pretty close.
Similar knowledge base. Okay. So I'm not going to dig deep into how to do a CMA, but I do think that we both use the same report, and I find it to be interesting that there are so many CMA softwares out there.
So many.
And so many agents spend so much time or basically acting as appraisers where they're doing adjustments and all these photos, and the report is so huge. Sellers do not need all of that.
I feel like when you show up with basically an appraisal of a CMA, you see their eyes glaze over. It is so much information and it is so wordy looking, and it's a lot. They're hard to read.
Yeah.
It's you have to be able to just speak confidently when you interpret the data for them.
Yeah. So we both use a report. Our MLS is Paragon. Mm-hmm. And we both use, I know this is what I was about to say. We both use the CMA summary, which is a black and white, single lines per house.
No pictures.
So easy to see a lot of data very quickly. our MLS is changing in the fall, and I am so nervous.
We should just take the classes together.
I'm really
Let's go
worried that they're
together.
going to get rid of my CMA, and I'm going to be like, no, I don't want fancy CMA.
I know.
I just want
I'm
plain
sure there
CMA.
will still be a simple option.
I hope.
Mhm.
I hope. But the nice thing about that is it really gets a lot of different houses in one place quickly.
Mhm.
I would usually write like little notes,
Me too.
maybe in the margin. The margin's not big, y'all.
So
Not a lot of
professionally,
notes.
you have to write real small.
You have to write like, oh, renovated kitchen, extra yard, like whatever. I write little notes
Yes.
so that I have them when we go over it. I print a copy for the seller so that
Yeah.
they can keep it. Because also, I don't pick a price when I go to a pre-listing.
Right. We're
You're
just
gonna.
interviewing.
This is the best I can guess.
Mhm.
And then we talk about it, and it's still the best we can guess. If you're not listing for 2 months, it's going to be totally different.
I know.
Possibly, right? You're going to have different comps to look at.
Speaking of that, I went on a listing appointment earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
They told me we're not moving till summer. So I
Okay.
had 5-6 months before
Yeah.
they were going to be ready. We went over a CMA summary. We looked at some houses together to
Mhm.
compare. And then has been really helpful. I set myself up on a search for their neighborhood only.
Okay,
Every time one pops up, I email it to them
perfect.
and just say, oh, new listing.
New.
This is what they priced for.
Mhm.
If we followed their lead, we would be at this. This is
It's a great way to keep in communication as
Yes,
well.
It's way better than saying, just checking in,
Yeah.
seeing if you're ready.
No.
You're providing value every single time
Yeah.
something pops up.
And kind of a gentle nudge maybe that they can go get back out
Yeah.
there. Just keep preparing.
Keep going. Keep trudging along.
People are hitting the market while you're just prepping.
Look how amazing these photos are. How's your house looking?
Yeah.
So it helps them learn the market,
Yeah.
educate.
That's good.
I always tell my sellers too that we are also going to look at the actives because there are guinea pigs. We want to learn from them.
Yeah.
How many days have they been on the market? And I'll pick one, like the highest one. Okay, they've been on the market 80 days. Well, let's look at the history. Okay, well, they started at this price.
Yeah.
And now they're here.
Mhm.
So I do like to make notes or actually look on the computer to say they dropped from this
Yeah.
to this
Yeah.
and they're still active.
Mhm.
We don't want that to be us. And then I
Right.
like to look at the pendings. They accomplished what everybody's
Your
trying to
actives-
accomplish.
Unless your actives are 1 day on the market, your actives are your current failures, right?
yeah.
Like they didn't sell, especially
haven't
if
sold
anyone is
yet.
pending, that
Mm-mm.
means someone else beat them.
yes.
Okay, so then you look at the pendings.
So it's just very conversational.
Yeah.
Like, why do we think the buyer chose this one? And
Right.
then we look through the photos and we usually go, oh, well, we can see why.
Right.
Or
if,
the price.
if you're in an area or market or neighborhood or whatever, do you have kind of a go-to on how many comparable properties you pull? How many actives do you look at? How many, let's just say there's good activity.
I try to get all the actives.
Okay.
Because I want to know.
That's your whole competition.
Yes. And
Okay.
the times when there's one or none, I
Mhm.
let them know, hey, right now the competition is slim.
No
If
competition.
anybody wants to be in this neighborhood, you're going to be their only option.
list
if we
now.
were ready.
Right.
And then sometimes the actives are so many that I
Mhm.
just make them their own page. Because I'm like, these are
oh.
all the actives.
That's not good.
And I also will use it to say, if we listed at this price, we would be the 7th highest.
Yeah, you don't.
The 6th highest. Like this is where we would fall
Yeah.
in the range.
Okay, great. When there are a lot of actives or even 2, 3, 4, it's the best way to look at what the current prices are and say, okay, if you're the highest price, people might skip you and go look at the lower ones.
Yeah.
Or if you're lowest price, suddenly you're the best value.
Yeah.
Or you can be somewhere in the middle.
Mhm.
But there's all choices.
I have been starting off the pricing conversation
Mhm.
by saying, I am a data-driven person.
Right.
I come from a family of appraisals. I can't
Mhm.
help myself. I want the numbers to fit in a box.
Mm-hmm.
We are in a market right now where the crystal ball is fuzzy.
Sure.
The data doesn't always have a pattern. The
Yeah.
data doesn't always have a system that makes sense that I can interpret. So it does sometimes require talking things out with you, the seller.
Yeah.
I would like this to be collaborative on, can we get your financial needs to match the market data?
Yeah.
My question to myself is, when I list your house and another agent calls me to say, How did you come up with that price?
We need data.
I want to be able to support it.
Yeah.
And I tell them too, I don't mind pushing the price if your condition is good.
Yeah.
If your condition is good.
Right.
But I do want to be able to support it with some sort of data, even if there's just that one comp that I feel was somewhat similar to your home that sold higher.
Yeah.
I can use it. But here's the thing. If you want to list at $650, I have no data.
Right.
I don't have anything to say to those agents.
Right.
So that's just based on the market right now.
How do they take that?
I've never had them argue it.
They're like, well,
They
that
just
makes
are
sense.
like, yeah, I see that.
We have to have the data.
Right. And that's where I say, sometimes if they're just real stuck, I'll say, I know this is hard to hear. If you feel like you need to get a pre-listing appraisal, that could be something worth doing. But I also worry that you may not like that number.
Yeah.
And you will have spent $700
To get a number you don't
for
like.
nothing.
Yeah.
Now, episode 321 is pre-listing appraisal.
Okay.
Helpful or hindrance?
Yeah.
That is how we called that
Right.
one. So I do think if you are listening to this episode and want more, 321 would be a good one to go back and look at.
Like, do you think that's necessary?
Right.
Okay. That is helpful. All right. And then we've already talked about CMA episode was 97. Let's just finish up on the CMA thing. Importantly, we're not just looking at numbers, right? When you pull up comps before you go or after you go or while you're there, we're not just like, oh, house, 1,900 square feet, sold for $300,000. You have to look at the photos.
Yeah.
I mean, like if you don't look at the photos and read the description and check to make sure that it wasn't, a foreclosure or like a relo or some different type of sale where people were like under duress, or was the house vacant? Was it occupied? Like we have to take in a lot of other data that's not just the numbers data.
Right.
In order to qualify how they got to those numbers, right? We already talked about making notes to share. We both do that.
In our most recent episode, I shared that I made a kitchen collage where my seller just kept getting stuck on that. I wanted to price it. And honestly, my price that I gave them to me was a little too high.
Still high.
Like still high. And they still weren't happy and kept talking about these other houses, to which I had to show them. We went through, looked at photos, and then I actually saved all 4 kitchen photos and put them together on a collage in one piece of paper.
Right.
As we stood in their kitchen, I'm like, listen, this isn't your kitchen.
Or close.
And kitchen and bathrooms are the hardest. It's also really hard when the ages of homes are so different.
Yeah.
I've had to say, that house was 20 years newer than you, and that's when they started doing 9, 10-foot ceilings.
Right.
We're still at like an 8. And we are a ranch style lower ceiling home, and those are different. So having to educate on the difference between the ages.
Right, because ceiling height isn't listed really where people notice on a listing.
Right.
All right, while you're on that, how far back do you pull market your comps, your sold ones?
I start with 6.
Okay.
Lately, I have been doing 9.
Because you need more.
I need more data, and I feel the market was similar 9 months ago.
Okay.
During COVID, it was so hard.
Yeah.
Because if you went 9 months back.
Wrong.
It's a completely different market.
Yeah.
And I was actually trying to do CMAs within 3 months.
Okay. Right.
Just to see what's happening.
But now you can do 9. That's what
6
I've been
to
doing.
9.
What have you noticed or heard what appraisers are focused on?
They are supposed to stay within 6. They can go to 9. If it goes past a year, they have to write additional notes on why.
Okay.
So they have to explain to the underwriter why they had to go back further.
Yeah. Okay.
So it really just depends on how much data I got. Or sometimes I will try to maybe just widen the search a bit if I know there's a neighborhood close by that was also similar. But it only works if the neighborhoods are similar.
Right. They have to be pretty close.
Yeah. Like I just did one in Hickory Ridge and Woodlawn Estates.
Yeah. They basically
They're
run
very
together.
similar. They're the same.
You don't know where one begins and one ends.
Side note, I made a mistake.
You did?
A huge mistake.
What?
Oh my gosh. I can't believe I did it. I went on a listing interview.
Oh my God.
In Hickory Ridge.
Oh my God.
And I went and did a whole CMA summary.
They weren't all in Baton Rouge.
No.
You know why?
They were in Mandeville.
Yep.
But what got me is, okay, I had my kids home because school was closed. Number one.
You weren't fully focused.
I wasn't fully focused. I did the CMA summary. The price ranges were all the same.
Yeah.
The houses I scrolled through all the photos. I did not look at the city.
Here's the problem, and I'm so frustrated about it. Whenever they opened up, so y'all are forever and ever, our board and our MLS was Greater Baton Rouge. That's it. That's it. And so we have our actual MLS areas that belong to Greater Baton Rouge. Then they started, they shared our MLS is now shared with New Orleans and I guess North Shore like Mandeville, right? Yeah. But they don't mark off, I feel like, the areas.
They don't.
So they are listing a house. They don't have the area numbers.
Will be blank. Yeah.
So if you go to pull up a neighborhood, if you also don't put in your MLS area, it will pull. And also, why couldn't
I've done it before, but I caught it because I was like, why is this house so huge?
But I have done it in the last 2 years since it's all been combined. I've done it so many times.
I know.
Where I was like, oh, these aren't even the right ones.
So now I'm having to be, so I did a whole email CMA summary. I had been to the house.
Oh my God.
I sent them a whole thing and was like, we could list for $350.
And it was wrong. It was way wrong.
And they emailed me back and said, we would love to get $350, but we don't think that's realistic. And we think some of these comps are not in Baton Rouge. And my heart sank.
You were like, I've made a mistake.
I have you should fire me. I would fire me.
I'm no good.
I'm not good at my job. You should fire me. They were very kind. And I responded immediately and said, oh my goodness.
So
you
sorry.
are correct. Our MLS has merged recently and I did not catch it.
And for some reason, there's a Hickory Ridge in New Orleans area. There's one here. There's quite a few neighborhoods with the same exact name.
And in this situation, the houses were sort of similar.
Oh, geez.
Well, then I did Hickory Ridge, just Baton Rouge.
Oh God, what was it really?
No data. There was one or two houses.
Stop.
So then I expanded it to the neighborhood next door, got more data, but it came out to max 325.
Oh,
so not
okay, that wasn't devastating, but
I wish
pretty big difference.
Maybe I wish it would have been surprise 375. Not surprise.
They were knowledgeable enough to know.
They were. They were knowledgeable enough. And we had sort of talked about it a little bit at the, just pre-list, but I wanted to share that story to let you know I made a mistake and I know there is a lot going on, a lot of changes in MLS. Our MLS is changing again in the fall.
To statewide.
You need to be attending your board's free classes on how to use the MLS. Yeah. You need to read all those dang emails that update you on the changes to your MLS. I don't want y'all to make the same mistake.
And I think you probably have to start doing map searches.
Yeah.
When you do a CMA.
Yes.
And not just a neighbor. We're just spoiled because we could do a neighborhood. But now that's not safe.
No, it's not. There are many neighborhood
Thank you for sharing with us vulnerably where you made an error.
I was not
I have done it while sitting at my computer more than once.
Yeah.
And caught it before I sent it on.
Thankfully, I had some very gracious sellers that understood.
Well, we all make mistakes. Are you listening to this episode and realizing you need a seller net and a buyer cost sheet?
Well, good news. We are releasing ours for the first time during the Black Friday week of deals.
So mark your calendars for Wednesday, November 26th to grab yours.
Don't let your clients be surprised by the numbers. They will thank you for it.
Okay, now I want to talk a little bit about a list of questions to ask yourself to see what your CMA is telling you.
Okay.
Question number 1. Are there no homes currently available? Like you were talking about.
What are the actives? Yes.
How many actives are there? Are there tons? Are there none? Is there one? What's your competition? If there are none, then supply and demand says you put one out there. Good.
Yes.
If there's 20, bad.
Not good.
It's not good. It's not good.
Too much supply.
Okay. Next question to ask yourself when you're looking at your CMA. How do the days on the market look?
Mm-hmm.
What is the day? Is it some sell in 2, some sell in 90? And then you need to look at the condition. What makes them sell fast? What makes them sell slow?
Yes, I do like to say we want to be the ones that it seems a lot of times it's either a small number or a huge number.
And I think it's really important that you should never, never, never just automatically look at the average days on the market and assume. You need to look down that list of 10 sold properties and say, oh, well, some of them are selling under 10 days.
Why?
And some of them are taking much longer.
And find the difference in those and talk about it with your sellers.
Yeah.
All of these were priced within this range, or all of these had new roofs or were clean, tidy, updated.
Yeah, you have to be the detective and you have to figure out before you get there why there's a difference in the days on the market. Or even just look at maybe it was earlier and 6 months ago, maybe it was more recently, whatever it is, maybe the market, you can see the market shift with your own eyes.
Yeah.
Right? When you follow the data. The next one is how many have sold in the last 6 months. So you can go figure out all the absorption rate math. We have that numbers episode. But if 10 are active and only 3 have sold in the last 6 months, not good.
No.
But if 10 have sold, 1 is
how
active.
do you do that?
Oh,
You don't
we do it
remember?
wrong every time. There's an absorption rate. Like if you're looking at the last 6 months and 10 have sold and there's only 3 on the market, you can figure out how many months of data there are. Like how many months of inventory.
Like how long it should take.
Yes.
Like, oh, we have 4 months of inventory.
I'm not going to give the thing again because I feel like I did it wrong last time.
Okay.
But there's math to it. The next question while you're looking at the math.
Okay.
Are there any pending sales and when do they close? Are they closing tomorrow? Are they closing in 30 days? Are you listing tomorrow? Then they're really not going to be a comp, right? But you might be able to call that agent and be like, hey, what did you get?
Right.
I'm taking a listing. They'll typically share that with you.
Yes.
So you need to know if things are going under contract and when do they close. Do you have the absorption rate?
I do. So you take the average sales per month.
Okay.
So let's say,
Give me easy math. Let's just average
that's not
sales
what it
per
gave
month.
me.
Oh.
Okay, let's say it says 10 houses sold.
Okay. In a year? Let's do 12 houses in a
here's
year.
how they did. Here's how they did.
Okay.
You did a CMA 6 months back.
Okay.
There's 10 houses that sold in 6 months. That's 1.67 homes per month.
Great. Okay. We can do that.
There are 3 houses on the market. 3 houses divided by 1.67 homes sold per month is 1.8 months of inventory.
Perfect.
That is how much of a supply you have. That means if no new homes are listed, all current inventory would be sold in 1.8 months.
Perfect. Thank you. They say that
we have a whole episode.
I know. They say that a seller's market is less than 6 months of inventory. A buyer's market is somewhere more than 6 months of inventory, and somewhere I feel like in between the 4, 5, 6 range, maybe 5, 6, 7 range months worth of inventory is sort of neutral. They say.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question you're asking yourself about your CMA. What about the condition? Did we look at all these houses? Tell me something about their condition. Make some notes of how they were presented. And also, you need to look at your CMA and note what the concessions are currently, like what is happening with concessions. You're also at a bit of a disadvantage here because you can no longer see what the seller possibly paid towards a buyer's agent commission. But hopefully you can ask your broker or people you know. Maybe you can just go off of the most recent closings you've had, what seems to be happening.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're not going to have the exact number for each and every comp you pull, but you will have the concessions if they gave closing costs. So you need to know those numbers.
Episode 144 is numbers to know.
Yeah, that one gives you all the math.
They liked that one.
I love the math too. We're data people.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the questions to consider when you're looking at your CMA. All of this to say, you should go into your listing appointment and your pricing discussion as a neighborhood expert. I don't care if you have never sold in that neighborhood. You should go into it after you've done all of this research as an expert.
I have even told them, look, I actually called this agent of this one that sold to see why it was on the market so long. And she said it actually had a damaged floor or what. And they're like, so impressed that I called.
You have to do that research. If you want your seller, one, to take your suggestion on price and actually give it proper due. And two, like, they're not going to trust you.
Mm-mm.
If you want, especially if they're interviewing multiple people.
Right.
If you have done all this legwork, yes, I know it might not result in a listing. But if you do all the legwork and it truly does help the seller see you're working and that you have knowledge and that you've gone above and beyond the next person, I think that's big.
Yeah. For you to say, I made phone calls and found out information and looked at disclosures.
I called the two listings that are pending and found out when they close, if they've been through inspection and what the price is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
That's data no one else has.
Right.
Unless you called and got it.
That will set you up. That will definitely set you apart.
Yes. Okay.
And give you an advantage.
All right. So now you have all this data. How do you pick? Let's just say you have your CMA and there are 6 active listings. Where do you like to price in the line?
Obviously, condition, etc. But I say, look, based on this data, I think this is going to be the range that we're in. Are these the numbers you were expecting?
Yeah.
Sometimes they say, no. I thought I was going to be a little bit higher. At which point I'll say, I mean, if we replace your roof, we could push it more. If we replace the carpet, it could help our day on market. It may not help the price or whatever you need to say.
Yeah.
But you say, this is where things are selling.
Right.
I'm okay pushing it to here, but I'm not okay pushing it to here because I don't have any data.
Right.
For when people ask me how I price the house.
I really like that question.
Yes. I say that all the time.
Make sure you put that into your listing presentation.
Mm-hmm.
When people ask me, when agents ask me, when buyers ask me how we price the house, I need to have the data.
Yeah. If I have no data to support
what will I tell them? It's just like never split the difference. Yeah. Like, what am I supposed to say?
Yes.
Just say that. Then stare at them. What am I supposed to say?
Mm-hmm.
If they ask me how we pick this price, what do you want me to tell them?
Mm-hmm.
And just stare.
I had an agent, a seller who actually we were going to list for like $259.9, which was really kind of pushing it.
Mm-hmm.
But her address number was 263. So she was like, can we please just list it for 263? And I thought, actually, yeah.
Because if people ask me why, I'll be like, it's the address.
Yes.
They'll be like, weird, but okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you gave me a reason. We have to have a reason. That's how serious the reason is.
I'm like, wow, that is a good reason.
That's our address.
I mean, if she would have said my address is 275,
I'd be like, no.
I'd say no, that's not.
It was
a good
so
reason.
close.
Yeah, I thought that's actually kind of cute.
Did it sell?
It did pretty quickly. So.
Close to 263?
Yeah, not 263, but very close.
Okay. Close to 259?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That is hilarious. Oh my God, I love it so much. Okay. Let's quickly talk about the most important thing I ever learned from my broker when I was at RE/MAX, the 3 components of listing.
Okay.
Of your listing: price, location, and condition.
Okay.
All right. And what she said is you have to get 2 out of 3 right in order to sell.
Oh.
So let's do them again.
Okay.
Price,
yes,
location, and condition. I cannot impact the location. So if the location is good, I've already got 1 down.
Yes.
I could maybe have not the greatest condition and still do a pretty good price, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe the condition is great and then I'm going to really I'm air quoting, overprice. Go to the high end, right?
Sure.
Okay, because you have to get 2 right.
Yeah.
If the location is not so great and people are not like trying to get in there, then I have to have great condition and the right price.
Yeah, both of those have to be
because I'm making
correct.
up for something, you see?
Yes.
So it's like a scale. I got to have, in order to sell, I have to have 2 of the 3
How do you feel
right.
about your one you just did on Stumberg?
As far as how I priced it?
Like using price, location, condition.
I did the price right and the location was good.
Okay.
The condition was needed updates, it wasn't great.
So C would have been the one that maybe fell off the most.
Pick me one of your current listings and let's do the 3.
Let's do the one that you just came to with me.
Oh, okay. I love that house. So cute.
Yes.
All right. Location, great.
Yeah.
So good. All right. Price, I don't remember what the price.
I think it's price.
It's high.
Well, think about how
you think
cute
it's
the condition is.
Well, the condition is good. So you got all 3 right.
Yeah, but it's not selling, which tells
Then it's the
me
price.
it's got to be the price.
Yep.
Because the location is good.
Actually, the condition is good, but it had challenges with parking.
Yes.
So condition doesn't just mean pretty and updated,
Clean.
which that house totally was.
Yeah.
But the condition also means there's not a cell tower in the backyard. There's not like maybe your yard isn't tiny. Like it doesn't have any house objections.
Yes.
That house had objections, right?
It did.
It had that little lip that we were fixing the rug on from the old. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
But the condition, actually, I still think might be your problem.
I know.
So truly, your location and your price were good because you said you thought the price was good.
Yeah.
What's holding you up on a sale, it might be the condition.
And my condition in this situation can't be fixed, which means I need to alter my price.
Because you have to get it to where
I have the condition as good as it could possibly be.
Right.
For what it is.
Don't you think this is an accurate philosophy?
Yeah,
It is.
do.
It never fails.
So good.
It never fails because no matter what the problem is with the listing, the price can make up for it, right? I mean, and God forbid you have a bad location and bad condition and neither you can fix. You've really got to drop that price.
So much.
Right.
That's the only thing.
That's the only thing that's the only lever you can pull. You look at it like 3 levers, right?
Yeah.
I can't pull the location lever. It is what it is.
Wrong lever. Do you know what that's from?
No, what is it from?
It is from Emperor's New Groove.
Why
do we even have that lever?
Oh, God. I feel
love
like you
that
make me
movie.
watch that one a lot. The like clips.
So
Okay.
funny.
The last thing I want to talk about, and then if you have anything else you want to share about pricing. I went to a class once where they taught, I don't remember who it was, I'm sorry to say, but they taught the pricing pyramid. Have I ever showed you this?
I don't think so.
Okay. I have the visual in Agent Systems, but I will try to speak it to where y'all can all picture it. Imagine 3 pyramids. There's a pyramid in the middle facing up, point at the top.
Okay.
Okay. There are pyramids on either side facing down, point at
Opposite.
the bottom.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Now let's talk about it a little. One pyramid is the time on the market.
Okay.
One pyramid is the condition. And the middle pyramid is the price. Okay.
Okay.
And we're talking about buyer pools, which I know you love to talk about buyer pools. Okay. Right. So when you have your price pyramid in the middle, big bottom of the pyramid, the lower the price, the bigger your buyer pool is. Right?
Oh, that's good.
No matter, like if your price gets lower, you've got more buyers.
Yes.
Now, on one of the pyramids to the side that's pointed down is condition. At the top of this, the widest part of the pyramid is the best condition.
Oh.
If you have the best condition, then you get the most buyers, but you also get to go to the top of that pyramid, the higher price.
Yes.
Okay. Now we kind of look at the third pyramid in its own world. That's your days on the market. That's your time pyramid. All right. If you price it high, that big part of the pyramid's at the top, it might take longer to sell, right?
Yeah.
If you price it, low, it should sell faster. That's that part at the bottom. If your
Yes.
condition is good, it still might impact. So the time only applies really to your price.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I think that's good.
But it's a nice visual when you want to talk about how many buyers you get. So when you're trying to pick a price, you got to find a sweet spot. You want to get because you're representing your seller.
It's like what's the hot versus crazy chart?
Yes. Oh my God. The graph.
The graph.
Yes.
If you get too hot, they might be crazy.
Right.
You got to find the sweet
There's a
spot.
sweet spot for your price where you're counting for your condition. You don't want to be in the market for 1,000,000 years. You want to sell quickly. Look, if you price it too low and your condition is really good, it might sell so fast because you price it wrong, right?
Yeah.
I would suspect at that point you'd have multiple offers, but that would be the result there. If you price it way too high and your condition is not that great, you are going to be on the market a very long time.
Yeah.
That's the pricing pyramid.
So interesting. I like it.
I mean, there's a lot of ways. I don't remember it now, but I've been to many classes where they teach you how to talk to sellers. Do you have any other things that you're saying to sellers that seem to help? I really, really like what will I tell them when they ask us how we priced it?
I think so many new agents tell me, I don't know what to say. And I'm like, say that. in a professional way.
Yeah.
They think they have to have the answer. I don't have the answer always. That's why I say, I'm just being honest, Mr. Seller. The real estate crystal ball has never been fuzzier.
Yeah.
This is the data I have right now.
Right.
This is what it looks like.
Yes. Yes.
If you're not ready to sell today, I'm going to keep monitoring this data up until the day we hit the active button.
Right. It's changing.
It's constantly changing.
Oh, that's the other good point. When I do at my listing appointment and we pick a price and we've gone through all of this and we write our little seller net, at the bottom, I sign it and date it. And I have a disclaimer that says, which is if anyone gets our net sheet through the podcast, it's on there. It says, this is our estimate based on today.
Today.
But
you came to my house 4 years ago and you said it was more.
Too bad. So sad.
Right.
This is a literal snapshot, a moment in time. In a month, it'll be different. In 2 months, it'll be different. In a year, it'll be very different.
Yeah.
Hopefully up, but who could say?
Who could say?
Who could say? And anything else you're saying to your sellers?
Those are the primary things. I do think you sometimes need to be careful not to, in your nervousness, over talk.
Oh, yeah.
Like sometimes the pauses, just letting them absorb what you just said.
And always defer to, do you have any questions about the comparable sales you're looking at here?
Is this the range you were expecting?
Is this what you were expecting?
What do I say when they ask me how I priced it?
Right.
Like these are just things that you say every time.
Yeah. I mean, some sellers don't want to hear what the truth is. And not every seller is a valid candidate for a listing.
I have had some people say, how do you handle price reductions?
Mm-hmm.
And I like to tell them that is based off of the number of showings and feedback we've had.
Yeah.
If we have 0 showings the first 10 days, we need to change something.
Yes.
Something is not, I'm not saying every 2 weeks we make an adjustment.
Right.
But are they telling us it's the price, or are they telling us it's the above ground pool, or are they telling us it's the no covered parking? What are they telling us? Again, I like to use the data to make decisions on how to move forward.
Yeah, that's another good talking point that I've heard before, or I'll tell my sellers all the time. Look, I'm like, we're going to do our best to pick the right price. First of all, we're doing our best. This is the data we have. We're doing our best. But the market is going to tell us if it's right or wrong. And if we have no showings, it's the price. If we have lots of showings but no offers, it's the condition. There's something wrong when they get there that makes them say, I don't want this house anymore. And, at that point, we're talking about the 3 levers again, right?
I like that a lot.
Do we have to bring down the price to make up for this condition item that when they show up, they're like, ooh, you know what? We love the location. We thought the price was good for the location. But when we got here, it smelled.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like something happened that they weren't expecting and they didn't make an offer. If you're at 60 showings on a listing, something is wrong with the condition.
Yes.
Because you got them in with the price, right? And then, of course, with the really tricky properties, maybe you have the price right and that's why they keep going, but you have to start making the pre-calls like, listen, this is what's going on at the house.
Right.
If your buyer thinks it's move-in ready, that's not the price. The price is here because we have a problem.
Yes.
But that's really a helpful...
I started doing that on one that I had 72 showings on before
please
sold.
Don't go.
I just started calling. Listen, yes, the seller smoked in his office. He did. We have changed the carpet and painted. It could still use some other things, but that is what is happening. And I was like, that's why it's priced the way it is.
Yeah.
And it's like they just once I started making those phone calls.
A proper expectation must be set.
The feedback started coming back so much better. They weren't so surprised. Like
they knew what they were getting into.
Eventually we found the right person.
Right.
But
it just takes a little bit longer. But when you're, but that's really easy because look, no one has the magic ball. No one has the crystal ball.
Right.
So when the seller's like, how do we know we priced it right? Well, if nobody shows up, then it's wrong.
Right.
And look, you can look at the data and be like, look, all the houses in your neighborhood take 90 days to sell. So when I mean no one shows up, I mean if in 30, 60 days, no one shows up.
Right.
I don't mean in 3 days if no one shows up. But if all the houses sell in 2 weeks on the market and you get to a week on the market with no showings or 2 weeks, then it's your price.
Yeah. And keep that email coming to you.
Yes.
While you have it active. I try to keep it coming to me through the listing and even set it to alert me of pendings.
Yeah.
That's just my way of keeping in touch with them and gauging our price and our activity. Like, well, your neighbor went pending and we haven't even had a showing. So the person who bought that one didn't even come see ours, and we need to figure out why. So it gives you talking points. And then once we close, it's on my checklist to just delete all active searches on that property specifically.
You basically have to put on your detective hat and your scientist hat and your data processing hat, and you have to figure out, what does all this stuff mean?
Yeah.
You don't just, it's not easy. Zillow can't figure it out with a Zestimate, right? Like, they can try, but you have to go inside. You have to look at all the photos of the other houses. You have to see what's going on in this house. There's a lot to it.
Yeah.
I think that's when I'm like, I don't think AI is going to replace you.
No.
But you have to do this work. It's not simple.
No.
Are you feeling good on the pricing topic?
I feel like this was good. They got practical tips.
Lots of talking points.
Real life conversations. Permission to say the data is tricky. We're doing our best, but the market will let us know how we did.
Yeah. Okay. The market is the market.
It is tricky because I think agents want the answer. Just like the sellers want the magic number.
Yeah.
And there is no magic answer and there is no magic number.
No, there's no secret.
You have to do the work and you have to put your best foot forward.
And you just have to be ready to adjust.
Yeah.
Like, it's a moving target. Price is a moving target. Okay, that's all I got.
Me too. That was great.
Okay, great. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, Hustle Humbly. My name is Brittany Allen, and I'm a realtor with Remax Lee in Snohomish, Washington. And I am toasting Ivy Jo Houghton with Keller Williams in Everett, Washington today. She was helping a friend out on her friend's listing while her friend was out of town, and there was a dog in the house the last time I was in there with some buyers, and I asked if the dog was going to be there again today because this dog was just behind a baby gate with a cone on its head, barking its little head off, and, not ideal for tours. Plus, I had recently been bitten by a dog before an open house, so I kind of had, a little aversion, and so I asked her about the dog, and Ivy Jo said, hey, you know what? If the owner can't take the dog out or take the dog for a walk, I'll go over there and take the dog out for a walk or take him in the backyard so that you guys can have the house to yourselves. And I just, in that moment, and still, I'm just so amazed by that because some agents wouldn't even do that for their own listings. So cheers to you, Ivy Jo. You are setting a new standard and you're amazing. And it's a pleasure to work in the same community as you.
Wait, before you go, if you enjoyed this episode and if we brought you value, take a minute to rate the show, leave a review, or drop a comment.
We are giving away our best stuff for free. Find it at hustlehumblypodcast.com/freebies.
We'd also love to see you in Hustle Humbly community. Join us there at hustlehumblypodcast.com/membership.
We love chatting with you in our DMs. Find us on social media at Hustle Humbly Podcast and say hello.
If you have an episode topic or someone you'd like to toast on the show, please email us at team@hustlehumblypodcast.com.
Thank you so much for tuning in to the Hustle Humbly Podcast. See you next week.